In this video, I will be demonstrating how to install and use a tool known as ObjectAid XML. That's ObjectAid UML Explorer. This tool helps you understand how different classes in a Java project are related, and it might be useful as you try to understand the relationships between different classes in your Java projects. To install this tool in an Eclipse environment, you need to open up Eclipse, click on Help, click on Eclipse Marketplace. Once you click on that, under the search bar right there, you will type in UML Explorer, and you'll see 55 different matches. In fact, that's a few too many matches. In fact, I'm just going to write ObjectAid UML. Hasn't shown up here so far. And so scroll to the bottom and it says 36 matches, browse for more solutions. And what happens is that a browser opens up in Eclipse, taking us to the Eclipse Marketplace. And one of your search results is going to be this ObjectAid UML Explorer. If you don't find it on the first page, feel free to go to the second, third pages till you find it. Once you find it, there is an install button. And so click on it. Once you click on the install button, it tells you what it's going to install. It's going to install all of these things. It's going to install ObjectAid UML Explorer 1.2.x, the class diagram, the diagram add-on, and the sequence diagram. Right? It's going to install all of this. Click on confirm. You've got to agree to a license, so I accept the terms of the license agreements, and click on finish. And so on the bottom right, you will see it's installing software down here. If you get this warning, say install anyway, and it's going through the process of installing the software. It says you need to restart Eclipse for the changes to take place, to take effect. Would you like to restart? Let's restart. Eclipse is now restarting. Okay. Now, and so this ObjectAid UML Explorer is now installed as like this add-on in your Eclipse environment. And you can see it when you go to File, click on New, and click on Other. You will notice that there is a new folder over here that says ObjectAid UML diagram. Right? And so we have this new option that's available to us. And so open up one of your projects over here. In this case, I have the exam and a project known as exam02 open, and I have two classes in there. One is the hotel class, one is the room class. Very simply, a hotel has multiple rooms, and so a hotel is comprised of multiple rooms, right? So the hotel class uses the room class, but it would be nice if you could see this relationship in diagram format. And so when you are within exam2, right-click on the project, click on New, click on Other, and open up the folder that has ObjectAid UML diagram and select ObjectAid class diagram. Click on next. And it's going to ask you where do you want to put this class diagram. And so our folder, our project is exam02, so that's where we want this class diagram. So we want this diagram that tells us about the relationship between these two classes, hotel and room, in that folder exam02. I'm going to call this class diagram, you know, just I'm just going to call it class diag. And I can save this image as a, if I wanted to, I could save this as also like a picture file, but I'm not going to create a picture file. I'm just going to create this UML class diagram. I have a variety of options over here, and what this allows me to do is take a look at some of the different attributes and things of that nature. It can show me public classes, private classes, protected classes, static classes, shows me different attributes and shows me different relationships. And so you can check and uncheck boxes depending on how much detail you want in this diagram. And so feel free to play around with the checking and the unchecking of boxes. I'm just going to leave the default boxes checked over here, and I'm going to click on finish. And you will see a blank white screen over here, class diag.ucls. Now, this is a blank diagram that shows you no classes. If you want to start seeing the relationship between classes, what you do is you drag and drop classes that exist in your project to this white space, to this class diagram. In this case, I'm going to drag the room class over, and now you see a diagrammatic representation of the classroom. It's the classroom that's present in the default package. The attributes of room are room ID, room name, room price, room type of the following data types. We have a constructor of room that takes an int, string, double string, and we have a variety of methods that are listed out. Some of these are getter methods that return data. Some of these are void methods that don't return data. Some of these methods take parameters and some of them don't. So you see information, you see some details about the room class in here, in this rectangle right here. Now I'm going to drag the hotel class onto the diagram. And so now you see what's taking place over here. And so now we can see that the hotel class uses the room class. The arrow goes from hotel to room. That means that the hotel class uses the room class. You see some information about the hotel class, and you see some information about the attributes and some information about the different methods. On these relationships, you also see two words, rooms and bookings. And this is telling us that the hotel class uses the room class in two arrays, rooms and bookings, right? And so this is really useful when you have multiple classes, 3, 4, 5 different classes. Once you create this diagram, you can just hit, you see the star right here, that basically means the diagram is not saved. If you hit Control S, the diagram is saved and the star disappears. And so this will kind of very quickly allow you to take a look at a class and also try to understand the relationships between multiple classes. In this case, we have 2 Java classes, but you can do this for multiple classes as well. This is very quickly a way to use this ObjectAid UML Explorer. Feel free to install it in your Eclipse environment, and feel free to use it in your Java projects.